go.
Personally, I love it from the standpoint of just having the action push, because that would be my biggest gripe with some high-level grappling matches or certain rule sets, if you will. You can kind of stall and you could just play the game.
Yeah, there's nothing more irritating than a guy knowing he's up by 2 points with 3.5 minutes to go still, and all he's going to do is try to be a wet blanket. I mean, it's not impressive. It's not good jiu-jitsu. I mean, if you're playing safe and you're only playing not to lose, then I mean, go to some of those tournaments, you know, where they're going to reward you for being conservative, for not putting your true skill set on display. But here at CJJC, you get rewarded for going after it.
And I like that it kind of adds a bit of, that wrestling in it. My wrestling kind of speaks to that of you can't stall. Or you can't hold back in wrestling. You're going to get called for stalling. You have to move forward.
Absolutely.
So I love the thought of that. And I also we can slam here at the CJJC cage personally.
If you're going to hold on to it, I'm going to set you down in the hardest way possible.
And whether it's that or if it's just simply a takedown, unfortunately, I've seen way too many times of someone who has just a strong blast double at like a local jiu-jitsu tournament and they get disqualified. One of them being a kid who's from the Denver area who's making his UFC debut today, Luis Grim Gurley, his very first jiu-jitsu tournament that we did, a fight to win tournament a few years ago. Strong blast double. He was a collegiate wrestler. Gets disqualified very first match for them calling it a slam. He goes on and runs the table for the rest of the tournament, obviously. But, it was just some of those things where like, he didn't slam me. It was a very strong and powerful takedown.
And with jiu-jitsu, I mean, if we're looking at combat jiu-jitsu, competitive jiu-jitsu, the things that you're doing are things that would translate to the real world. In the real world, if I have to blast double somebody, I'm not going to ask them how they would like to be set down.
Absolutely.
You're going to do what you're going to do. I mean, they both signed the waiver. They both decided to step into a cage. So, reward them for going after it. Give them their just desserts, as they would say.
Absolutely. Right now in the cage, we have a 175-pound no-gi matchup between Jake Richardson of Easton Training Center and Chris, the Trench Kid De Leon of Genesis Training Academy.
Both long-standing gyms in the Colorado area. Several UFC fighters out of both of those games.
De Leon being cornered right now by two local MMA fighters who are both actually on this card as well today. We have Juan Rosales as well as the Super Jew Micah Haas.
A little.
De Leon looking for a trip from the tie-up.
So they're both working a collar tie as their entry. Both of them, though, staying very tall in that collar tie. If you're going to be there, you want to get yourself in a position to get to a leg or get to a body lock of some sort. And if you are going to be the pusher or the pushee, you got to make sure that you are putting yourself in a spot. There we go. A little duck under to a body lock, just like I was asking for.
Just like the doctor prescribed right there, we now have Richardson sitting in the guard of De Leon. De Leon with one butterfly in.
Working inside that guard, trying to get those feet on the hips and get himself a little bit of distance to work out of.
Now double unders from the butterfly for De Leon. Head position from Richardson is still strong.
Probably going to see a little elevator. Oh, no, going to come out of it. I thought we were going to see the rocket elevator coming.
It looked like for a second Richardson was potentially trying to look to go body lock.
Yeah.
Guard recovered now by De Leon.
And this is where jiu-jitsu in the cage changes things slightly. Now we've got him stuffed in what we call that dead spot. His head's in that corner where the cage wall meets the floor, and you don't have the ability to shoulder walk or get yourself in a better spot. At this point,
It's a twofold situation, right? Because if you know how to wall walk, you could then use the wall to get yourself back up.
Right.
But then again, it comes down to some of these grappling specialists don't have the familiarity yet of using the wall or using the cage,
Right.
if you will, to be able to get themselves back up. That's where then some of the MMA fighters who compete underneath our banner, they tend to thrive because right now they're like, okay, I feel fence, knee down,
I'm comfortable.
start to work
Yeah.
myself back up.
Move my hips.
This body triangle right here from the bottom isn't really doing much for Dale.
No, you'd like to see him come off to an angle, maybe underhook a knee, get himself in a better spot and start working from there. Angling off of the cage is going to be paramount for him because staying right there and buried in, keep his fingers out. There we go. It's a little better.
Good redirect by Richardson. Put his face right back, or put his head right back in the spot.
Yeah.
Strong head pressure from the guard too, really nullifying a lot of things unless De Leon starts to open up his guard and move the hips.
But here's the problem with submission-only jiu-jitsu. You know, we're have both opponents kind of jockeying for position, and not one of them is ready to just go for broke and take that shot. You know, if you have someone in your guard in submission grappling, it's not a great look.
I'd like to see Richardson now start to do something to pass the guard. Got to pass the guard in advance.
He was not interested in any leg play whatsoever. Do we have the guillotine in there?
That tells you got looking for anaconda now.
That looks like a little anaconda, yeah. He hooks it up.
Short, but he's got the leg collected. Which
He's going to want to walk that hand. There
and he gets the
There's
tap.
the tap.
Jake Richardson with the anaconda in regulation.
And that restart, you know, when they return to their feet is exactly what you want to see from them. You know, on the ground, we weren't getting anywhere. We get a clean break.